Alright, so we have a new chapter of One Piece. This one is called The Old Leopard Never Forgets the Way. And I don't know if this is referring literally to a mink or someone called the leopard, or who knows, it could be all sorts of things. But the cover page is Jinbei, who we last saw heroically sacrificing himself to try to give the Straw Hats an opportunity to escape from Big Mom's clutches. Is now having his hair cut by a crab. I love One Piece. I love One Piece so much. So, what's been happening? It's quite a lot going on, as is One Piece. Momonosuke's little sister has shown up. It wasn't the grand courtesan after all, nor was it the shogun themselves, which were the two main theories. But this woman, sure. Summon the courage to reveal that. It's a big gamble on my part. Still be alive. One from his floating around the return of the Kozuki clan. Mighty and kind-hearted samurai from abroad, I wondered, maybe he's working with my brother. He's trying to track him down. Kinemon, Kendra, Raizo, everyone there. Okay, alright, so she needs to get caught up to speed. I kind of like her really extreme persona. Traveled. Oh! So Zoro Zoro wasn't here before when they explained this? There's... What's her face? It's always laughing. I already knew this, I guess. Sure. Special secret. Otoko is one of the few friends I have who knows my true nature. Cheeriness that helps me get through the day. And as she is now, but I'll never forget what that happened on a terrible day. Brother and the others simply vanished among the roaring flames, sent forward in time. Single day I'd lost everything. The idea my brother would come back in 20 years. Fleeting hope indeed, it offered me little solace. Totally lost the will to go on. Oh. I don't know, something about this sad story of loss and then hope suddenly re-emerging, taking place in this snow-covered graveyard. It's just so essential, you know? It's like, I talk about this so much, that Oda had this bank of samurai feeling scenes that he knew he had to include in Wano. This is another one. This is just all perfect to it. We're not allowed to jump into the future with him. It was either him or me. That way, if something happened to one of us, the Kozuki blood might still live on. My father's vassals. Kawamatsu, the Kappa! Is it really a Kappa? Oh my god, I hope we get to see a Kappa. We saw a Tengu before, and that was pretty great. But a Kappa, oh man. I love Kappas so much. Saren Zanmai, the series airing this season, it's beautiful. It's full of Kappas. I love it. I like Midori from Toho a ton. I like Dendi from OKKO, another Kappa. Oh yeah, I'm all about the Kappa. One of those river imps. So I was very proud of that fact. So, day the castle burned, we were surrounded by enemies on all sides. Escaped to the moat undetected. Watch my Kappa dance! Kappa. What food you can... This is a delicious grilled fish swimming in the river. Started when I was 13 years old. Kawamatsu was a very powerful samurai. Somewhere out there waiting for the day of the great battle. Oh, that's exciting. Another character, though I'm sure we'll see soon. I see parallels here between Otama being taken care of by the Tengu and her being taken care of by the Kappa. And the ways that those two characters kind of represent the archetypes around these yokai. That the Tengu is a lot more kind of cruel and capricious and stuff, but that maybe deep down there was still kind of a caring. And the Kappa too, more kind of mischievous and wild, but again, a devotion deep underneath. And it's like, I feel like more than just the actual characteristics of these legendary Japanese beasts, There's a sense that these legends of old Japan, or old Wano, as it were, in the series, are like always there for you. The samurai, they may have faded away, they may have been persecuted, but they're always really there for you. The Kappa are driven into the waters and forced to live in this kind of underground state, but they're still there for you. The Tengu have turned bitter and hungry in the persecution of Kaido's empire, but they're really still there for you. And that all of these old traditions aren't going to lose out to Kaido, to industrialization, to pollution, to things like that. It's stirring, isn't it? I find that a very stirring idea, that all the legends and all the stories and the cultural richness will resist, will continue onwards, even if secretly, even if underground. That seems to be a major theme of this story, and I find it very stirring, and it speaks of a great hope, doesn't it? I love it. I love it. Tagi and Kitty? Wanko Koneko? Just so happy, but I won't cry. I'm the daughter of a samurai. No one's know about those 6 in Momosuke. I haven't met the other 3 yet. So this is the Akazaya 9. The of course, these legendary warriors that will rise up against Kaido and the Shogun when the time comes. Kawamatsu I just described. Denjiro and Ashura Doji. Don't know if any of them are alive, still alive and well. So one of them is in the prison, right? One of them they've encountered in the prison. Was that Kawamatsu, I think? Yeah, that was Kawamatsu, wasn't it? Because he made like a little Kappa laugh. And I already freaked out about the Kappa. It's all coming back to me. This is the problem when you take a break. And then you got to remember what you were reading 3 weeks ago instead of just last week. Yeah, okay. Tile capital is an uproar of the symbol now, so I'm certain it will appear. Yeah, you're right. Having the emotion spreading open the open sugar to a goal, clearly a bad thing. The actual meeting place is known. Getting arrested, things are looking a bit dicey. Every last guy trying to steal the ship at the same time, so I'm gonna stop worrying about this. I actually love that so much. It's so in line perfectly with Zoro's personality and his way of doing things. But I think it's also just kind of fun storytelling. That there's characters that the kind of consistent thing for them to do is to be like, well, I'm out. Like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what I can really do here. So I'm yeah, just like get me if you need me. I'm gonna take a little nap. And yeah, they're just yapping. Serious that is. I'll be just as I remember them. Oh, what a wonderful idea. At first I thought this whole time travel plot was like really crazy that they would throw in an element like that. Although, of course, it's not backwards time travel, which is where the plots start really getting bizarre and complicated. But this forward time encapsulation, I'm only now kind of seeing the true payoffs of it. This wonderfully beautiful idea that she will see them all just as she remembered them on that fated day. That it's not just that they survived and now she sees these old people that remind her of them, but have lived these different lives and are totally different people. But no, it's just like they're picking up right where they left off. That even though she suffered alone for those 20 years, now it's like it's going to not have happened, kind of, sort of. It's interesting. Be right to cold throw water and please. Interesting. All right, so we're back in the Flower Capital. They're rounding up some of the rebels. They know the mark now. It's already been revealed. You failed. They were traitors. There's a fashion statement once. Nothing to do with any kind of rebellion. Playing the symbolic image. You're here by the Shodan's own edict, so pipe down. The public cells. Everyone's seeing on display the ability for them to have locked up all these people as a deterrent, I'm sure. This is what happens to those who defy Lord Shogun Orochi and Lord Kaido. Behold their foolish faces. There's still more to come. I don't think we spilled the beans. Oh, no! And then here we see Law's crew. No, Beepo! Don't you dare touch my beautiful bear boy. Look, he has a top knot. That's so cute. Ah! Meanwhile, back at the labor camp, Luffy has been doing the sumo inferno. There's the Kappa. There's the Kappa. I already forget his name. Kawa something, whatever. Luffy surviving Queen's sumo inferno. Sea prism stone bullets only made in Wano. Armadillo Man trying to just shoot Luffy and get it over with. Alpaca Man spinning all over the place. And the match too fast. That's no fun. This is over. Oh, and Queen is starting to become a big Luffy fan, it looks like. Yes, head to the right, duck, and then jump. Look at that power of observation. Full on reading the future, and probably Queen doing that as well to some extent. But Queen also, I think, just starting to get some faith in Luffy. Realizing that he is not a man to be trifled with. Then jump. It's like you saw the future. Oh, Luffy is just feeling himself so much. He's definitely in some sort of flow state. I like when they introduce a power-up like this, one that's kind of mostly mental, and because they can't really depict it too well as like a visual effect, they really emphasize the feeling that the character has when they're implementing it. This giddiness from Luffy whenever he uses observation haki is just so enthralling. It reminds me of something that happened to me on Saturday. Sorry, this is a bit of a tangent, but I'll probably bring this up on many, many occasions going forward because it was one of the most thrilling experiences of my life. And I say that with only half a layer of irony. So I went to a farmer's market with some friends. There was a used book stand there. They were selling a Garfield book, a Garfield collection that I remembered as a kid I had up in my cottage and I used to read all the time. So kind of as a joke, I said to my friends that were there, like, hey, like, quiz me, like, tell me a bit about one of the strips and I'll tell you the rest of it. And I wasn't really sure, like, I felt like I could remember it really well, but mostly I was kind of just doing this as a joke or something to kind of like emphasize, like, that's how much I read as a kid, haha. But I went like 10 for 10. Like, these strips that I hadn't seen in easily over a decade. They were asking me, they would tell me, like, the first two panels, they would say, like, okay, Garfield says, I'm going to eat this single leaf of lettuce for lunch. And I was like, and 1 quart of mayonnaise. And that's what happens. It was so crazy. And it was like I could just see them again. Like I could, in my head, I just instantly saw the strips again. And I was like giddy. I could feel like dopamine and adrenaline just like coursing through my body. It was like a total flow state. Like when I'm playing video games really well, it's that same sort of total confident hypnosis of like, and then John says this, and then Garfield is flapping his arms, and then this happened, and this. It was crazy. It was so crazy. Anyways, that's what Luffy feels like, I'm sure. Luffy feels like he's remembering Garfield. Old Man Hyo just cannot be hit. Luffy tries to hit through the Armada defense. Doesn't work. Oh, he just stops short. That's not right. That's just normal armament haki. What is Luffy trying to do? Stay there. Easier this way. The better. It's good training. Sick execution game. You say you're training? Pulling back your punches saying, that's not right. What in the world are you up to? I'm trying to hold back the Lexington. I want to punch them and knock them away without touching them. Ooh. Interesting. So this is a technique I think he's remembering probably all the way back from Water 7, from the fight against Lucci, where Lucci would hit with impact. Wouldn't be about the actual punch. Things like that 6-king gun, remember? And then Luffy would get like blown out from the inside out, basically. And it was a way that he was taking strong physical damage just from like, punches and kicks and stuff, which normally against a rubber body is like whatever. Luffy, I think, trying to figure out how this works. Interesting. And keep in mind, he still can't actually use his Devil Fruit powers. Yes, that's right. Raleigh did it as well. And the sumo strikes of Sentomaru, able to hurt Luffy, even though he's a rubber man. He must be a form of... In Wano 2, there is an invisible power that stems from the body and can be infused with the blade. Good katana will cut through steel when you want it to. Not the biggest... Yes! That's like one of my favorite scenes in all of One Piece, is when Zoro starts to understand that. You remember? He's fighting against Mr. One, trying to figure out how to cut through Mr. One's blades. And he just casually just like... And it goes through the boulder. And then he... No, first he strikes it against the piece of paper, and nothing happens. And then he just like kind of lets it drop through the boulder. Oh, I love it. I love it. It reminds me of a legend, and I think maybe they even talk about this legend in One Piece, about Muramasa and Masamune, the two legendary Japanese blades, and that Muramasa, they put it in a river, and the leaves would cut themselves as they went over the blade and then reattach because the cut was so precise that they were able to reattach themselves. It's like, ooh. But then Masamune, the even better blade, the leaves wouldn't even be cut. The leaves would just go around because the real legendary sword doesn't cut unless they want it to cut. It's all so cool. Anyways, apparently Ryo was known as the Mighty Blade in the past. I don't know if I can properly teach it, but take a look for yourself. What's he about to do? Swing down his right hand, sword hand. Whoa! This old man can do it. He has this impacting armament haki within him. He knocked him back. Old man Hyo just toppled a gifter. He really is the famous Hyogoro the Flower. So you're hoping to do early, maybe we can help you after all. Wow! Alright, this is exciting. I'm gonna find out how Luffy can finally perform this technique, which we've seen hinted at on a number of occasions from a number of characters for quite a while. From Old Man Hyogoro, not really sure what his deal is entirely yet, but he seems like a pretty strong guy. This is great. One Piece's ability to weave these foreshadowing of abilities and techniques and stuff throughout hundreds and hundreds of chapters, I think is just phenomenal. And even if it seems maybe a little underwhelming when we actually kind of learn what's up and it's just this, it's just haki, it's just armament haki. I remember sometimes it feels a little distasteful almost to put labels like that on it and to kind of make a science about it. It kind of reminds me of like the whole midi-chlorian things in Star Wars. But because it has this legacy, it's because it has the legacy that you feel that way. it's because it is so good and so richly woven into the lore of the series that you're even capable of feeling that way. Whereas most shonen series, they just be like, oh, by the way, guess what? Now you can do this. It's called a super strike. Don't like it? Right? All right. Anyways, we still got 2 more chapters of this to read. So we're going in. I hope you're as excited as I am.